2012, leaving Ipswich, by 2013 I had no club, not even in Ireland, didn't want to do a thing. Like, I just complete depression, just either just gambling everything and depression, didn't want to leave a room, didn't want to talk to anyone, nothing. Like, it was just horrendous time, like.
Hey guys, it's producer Ross here, and welcome back to another edition of Ross Meets, the series where I catch up with former Town players and talk about their careers, from the ups to the downs and everything in between. Once again, hope you all are keeping safe and well in self-isolation. Another week down in lockdown, and here we go, episode 7 of the series. And thank you to everybody who has listened to the previous 6 episodes. I hope you've enjoyed them. Hopefully they've given you an hour of something to listen to during the current situation we are in. And yes, I am continuing my Irish tour. As you know, I've spoken to a couple of former Irish players already in form of Ronan Murray, Billy Clark and George O'Callaghan. Today is the 4th Irish player that I've spoken to, and that is former Town fullback Shane O'Connor. And Shane, it was a pleasure to chat to him, talk about his time at the club, his different moments, different things that's gone in on his life and his career in general. And once again, that's another thing I love about social media sometimes. Sometimes I don't like social media, but sometimes I do, because sometimes you can reconnect with people, and social media is one of those things. I was able to find Shane on Instagram, and I catched up with him and talked about what he's up to now, and asked him if he'd be up for doing an interview, and he was up for it. And we spoke about different things during his time at the club. Of course, he started his career at Liverpool, and spoke about him going through the academy there, then coming over to Ipswich, playing under his boyhood hero of Roy Keane, and that was a big thing for him, and different moments during his time at the club. Of course, the Leicester City game in the snow is very much remembered for that game, one of his best performances in a blue shirt. Of course, we mentioned Paul Jewell, a manager that didn't really him go eye to eye together, and he spoke in depth about that, and then talked about him leaving the club and different things that's gone on in his life. And it was just great catching up with him, bringing different things during his life that's gone on, and him being very open with me. It was a pleasure to chat to him, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Episode 7 of Ross Meets. And before I spoil it all, let's get into the interview. Hope you enjoy it, and let's go. Hey mate, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. Yeah, in these weird, strange times we're living in, how's it affecting you?
Well, it's not too bad for me, to be honest. Like, I'm still kind of able to go in and out of work in the mornings and stuff, like, so it's alright. Like, my missus has to work from home, like, and obviously the kids are home.
Yeah.
It's a nightmare for her, but it's alright for me, like.
Yeah. So, like, as I normally do, is, your start of your career, really, did you always want to play football? Was that, something you always wanted to do? Or soccer? I keep hearing from the Irish lads.
Yeah, soccer. We call it soccer. There's a game of football back here. We call it soccer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when I was very young, obviously, my granddad would have been big into football, and my mum played it when she was kind of growing up. So, like, soccer was kind of the thing I wanted to do. I think I started when I was 4, and that was kind of all my granddad was a Man United fan, so I was kind of followed him, went to the pub watching matches and stuff like that, and watched them at home with him. So soccer was my main thing, probably up until I was like 10, and then that kind of, when the GAA came into it, then it was kind of like a mixture. Because in fairness, the soccer back here isn't like it is over there. You know the way that, like, you have the youth academies over there, and from a young age the kids are getting in, they're training a couple times a week. Like, you don't have that luxury here. I mean, I played for a team over here, and I used to train. Like, I might train once every 2, 3, 4 weeks.
Oh wow!
So only for the game of football and hurling side, which I was training probably 3 times a week at. That was the only thing keeping me fit,
Yeah.
Especially when we got to, like, the later years. So I think that's why when we go over sometimes at 15, you're literally starting a fresh point of, like, this is actually, I'm training all the time, to where you're maybe training once a week, once every 2 weeks before that.
Yeah.
With a team, in a football environment, like. But soccer was always what I wanted to do. But believe it or not, I was actually I think it was under 14. I was the sport back here, hurling. I was playing for my county in that with Cork, and at the Kennedy Cup team, the manager. It's kind of like a thing, especially when I was growing up. There was like a south side and a north side thing, and the manager loved the south side teams.
Okay.
And the north siders didn't really get much of a look in. So even though I was on the team, he was reluctant kind of playing me, and he used to choose not to play me because he was from the south side and he had a south lad. So the Kennedy Cup, I kind of missed it as in playing and all the scouts. So my mum had said to me, look, my mum and dad said, look, you're not obviously going to get picked up now. You need to focus on one sport, because they kept clashing. So I went and said, look, I'll give up soccer then. And I did. I said, look, that's it. I'll give up soccer. And I went to stick with the hurling because I was playing for Cork, and I loved it. Like, and that summer, my mum probably wanted me out the house, so she put me into this Liverpool kind of summer camp thing with a few lads that I knew. So I went into that, and next thing I done the camp. It was probably, I don't know, a week long or whatever. And about 2 or 3 weeks later, my mum got a phone call off this fella Jim Waldron, a scout in Dublin for Liverpool, and he just said, look, we'd be interested in bringing Shane over to Liverpool for a trial. Like, I was thinking, geez, I have no team. I have to go back to the old team here. Yeah. So I then obviously I went over, and it worked out for me. The only thing I would say when I was going for my trial was Liverpool were the first team to ring me, and I had this weird allegiance to them that I could stick with them. And I went on trial there the first time, and then I think it was about 2 weeks later I went back for a second trial to play another game, and then I was to go back again the following week for the last trial. The following week, week after, for the last trial. It was all in the month of September, I think it all happened. Am I going too fast to you here? Am I alright?
No, yeah, good. I'm loving it. Yeah,
no, sorry.
That's right.
So basically what I've done is I've gone on the last trial, but as I'm going over the last trial, there's a lad from Leicester trying to get onto me, and he said, look, we'll pick you up for Liverpool and bring you to Leicester for your whatever, for a trial with them or whatever. And I was like, yeah, grand, no bother. So they sorted that out. But as I played my last game for Liverpool, they've gone to me, oh, look, we don't want you to go anywhere else. And I was like, but there's a fella coming up to pick me up here to go to Leicester. Like, it goes, because Liverpool knew this before I got over there for my last trial. Because obviously they booked me a flight over, but they didn't book me one home. So I said, look, your man has literally picked me up tomorrow, like, to go to Leicester. And I didn't have a number. Because there's nothing I can do, like. And they said, look, promise me you won't go. I was like, how can I promise you I won't go? Like, the man's coming. Yeah. So they literally rang them to tell them that I didn't want to go there. And I felt this weird allegiance to him, I had to do it. And literally the week after I went home, like, the club I signed for in Cork, Wilton they were at the time, they had this thing with Liverpool for some reason. They knew him, and that's why I kind of went to them for that my final year. And I don't know that they have, like, one of the fellas in Wilton knew a Liverpool, one of the Liverpool kind of academy coaches or something, and there was allegiance there. So your man was like pushing me towards Liverpool from the club, like. But I mean, I remember I had Arsenal come in for trials. Chelsea came in. I think Chelsea offered me a contract on the back of an Irish game.
Okay.
But I literally never heard any of it till, like, it was too late. I think at Wolves, there was a few teams came in, and they were all offering better contracts than Liverpool were offering me, but because they all told me too late, and I had this weird allegiance because they were the first ones to give me a chance, I stuck with them, which I always think, like, what a muppet, like, because it was like the completely wrong thing to do. Like, I should have explored all my options, because even when I was in Liverpool, like, my first year, you have kids coming in there from Ireland. Like, I mean, I remember Robbie Brady, a few lads came in, and they were like, I remember Robbie, he was with us training, and he was going to United the following week, like, and I was like, I only want to go to Leicester, and they won't let me go. This kid's going to United, like, you know what I mean? So that was kind of the only thing I kind of felt I'd done wrong in the process of going over, like.
What did your granddad say about you joining Liverpool? Because, he's a big Man United fan, you're a Man United fan as well, so it's like, Liverpool, Man United, a big rivalry.
I mean, I suppose I was a big United fan at the time.
But as a player, you sort of leave that, behind you, because you're like,
I remember my first, I think I was over there a few months. We played United. I remember it was in United's training ground, like, and I remember nailing some fella, and he gave me I think he called me a scouse up, like, oh, that you mank bat. So that was just my reaction. You just forget about all that straight away, like, because in fairness, I always said in Ireland you support the team, and you support them, but over there it's like a religion. It's your hometown club. It's like, it's what you're born and bred up in. Over here it's not that, like, you're not in the environment you are over there. I remember my mates came over to Liverpool Chelsea in the Champions League, like, and I remember they got caught in a scuffle coming out, like, wow. And they just couldn't believe how the passion is something different over there. Over here, it's more banter. You know what I mean, between United, Liverpool, and all that. But over there, like even saying like Ipswich North and stuff, like it's a religion. Like it's what you live for. Like you can't compare. Like I could drop United, like I'm more of an Ipswich fan than United fan now. Do you know what I mean? Because I played for them and I have more of an allegiance to them than I would United. I'd watch on the telly, or it wouldn't bother me. Like I wouldn't begrudge Liverpool win the league or Arsenal. I would, that kind of way. Yeah. It's not as passionate over here. Like,
what was it? What was it like? Because I've spoken to a few Irish lads already. What was it like coming over to England? You were 15 at the time. Did you say?
Yeah, I was 15. I think I think I was just turned 16 when I moved over, and I didn't really know what to expect because I never really been involved in a full-time training. And when I got there, it was it was like, it was amazing, like training every day, in and out. But I mean, when you go over, you just think, I'm just going to go over training. I'm going to play football in 6 months, and it's all going to be rosy. You don't understand like how much different it is. You go from literally to being the best player of the week on a pitch to like it not being hard at all, to going into this pool where everybody's kind of the same ability and probably some better than you because they may be a bit older and stuff like that, and all from different parts of the world, like, and it's completely different. And it's a challenge because you're I think at Liverpool you're younger, so then the second years get precedence, and there's even kind of some third years that they're still kind of waiting on, so you're kind of right down the pecking order, and they're reluctant to give any first years a go there because of the fact that they want their older lads to do better, and especially in Liverpool they want the scout lads to really do well, they really are. They try and push the scouts lads to do well kind of before anything else, which you don't really blame them, because obviously you want homegrown talent, like, when they had Gerrard and Carragher, like people like that, that's what they want to coming through,
Who was, in your youth team, who was anybody gone on to play for Liverpool or made a career for themselves?
Martin Kelly was my age, and obviously there would have been Jay Spearing, who played for a while. I think he's at Blackpool now. Yeah. But there was no one really. Can't think of anyone that really exploded on. Like, I remember there was a few lads a bit older than me, like Jack Hobbs and all them. They all kind of done all right at other clubs. There was no one really in around mine. There was a few younger, like Tom Ince would have been 2 years younger than me maybe. He was training quite a bit with us. Conor Cody, sure, he's at Wolves. He was always a great lad in fairness to him. I remember him when he's a young lad. I remember seeing him play a couple of times. I thought he was a good player, and then pops up and tell you a few years later, captain in Wolves, like, that didn't really surprise me that much. I remember Jack Robinson as well, actually. He was kind of good left back. He was a bit younger than me. I think he's at Sheffield United now, actually.
I think so, yeah.
So a few of the younger lads, actually, in fairness, well, there was a good group below me, and in fairness, they were very good. Like, I remember, because if we were the 18s on the bus, they were the 16s, and we kind of be coming up on the bus after maybe losing one or two, and you can always hear them winning, thinking, Jesus, I hate sharing the bus with them, like.
Yeah. Did you sort of know you weren't gonna probably make it at Liverpool, because at the time they were?
Yeah. Look, I knew within probably 6 months, like, I wasn't going to make it there. Like, you just because not because you weren't going to grow. It's just you have a feel, and you just know, And I remember I went away with Ireland if I was there in July, I went to play for Ireland in January, and there was a U Cup game that week. And in fairness, I was out for 2 months. I kind of got like this little stress. I think it was like a stress fracture. Like, it was only like a mild form in my back, but I had to do like loads and loads of rehab to kind of to fix it. And it was out, must have been 2-3 months like before I got back. But I came back late November, and in January there was a U Cup game, and there was 3 of us from Ireland. There was me, a lad from Dublin, and a lad from Sheffield, but he played for Ireland. And there were 3 of us, and he pulled us in the off, said, look, you're all called up to the Irish squad, but look, two of you lads, we'd like you to say, Shane, you can go and play, and that's basically like, you can go there. So I went over and played, but like, I played, it was a cracker of a game against Italy. Oh. And I remember listening to Liam Brady next morning on the radio, and he was raving about me. I think Reading were kind of asking about me at the time, and I remember going back, and I remember I didn't have an agent, I don't think, at the time, and I remember like I was like, how do I get this team here to know that I want to go there? But because I knew I needed something else, like, but because there was too many. Even when I was in the academy at Liverpool, if you were ever brought up to train in Melwood, like, there must have been 40 reserve people, like, and that's not counting people that were on loan. And you're thinking, like, how do you even get through here?
Yeah.
Because at the time when I was there, it was Benitez, and he had such an anti-academy, because I was under Steve Highway in the academy, and Benitez and Highway didn't like each other, and there was such a divide between the two places that it was like we were like a different club nearly in the academy, you know. And Benitez, in fairness to him, he liked a lot of the foreigners, a lot of the Spanish lads, where I think after a couple of years later, once he had gone, you kind of saw more youth coming through and more English lads, Irish lads, you know. It was just kind of it was a great club at the wrong time for me to even, you know, try and come through at the time, like.
Yeah, but a good experience. And so were you like a scholar there, or were you actually what would you call it?
No, I was a scholar there, because
yeah.
Do you know what now? I mean, I remember when, because I'd actually not played for Ireland before I gone to Liverpool on trial. Okay. So I actually had no idea about contracts. I didn't have a Scooby-Doo. My family, my dad was a kind of a guy and gay to football. He never played soccer in his life. So I had no dealings with contracts. So when they said to me, look, you have a 2-year scholarship, I thought that was like literally what people got offered. But I didn't have to sign that. And then I started to play for Ireland, and about 3 or 4 months later they were like, why are you gone to Liverpool? I was like, 2-year scholar. And every Irish lad's around the table going, I have a 1-year scholar, 2-year pro. And literally going around the whole table, and I was like, how did I come out with the worst deal out of all these lads? Do you know what I mean? And I couldn't believe it. But it's just because I was naive, didn't ask any questions. I literally felt so grateful that they were offering me something. I was like, look, whatever it is, give it to me. And so I took the 2-year scholar, but then I think they did give me another year, an extra year to when I was at the end of my first year. I think they wanted me to stay for another year, because I kind of started to do well, and towards the end of my first year, and they were like, look, you can have an extra year, but it was only a 3rd-year scholar thing. Now it is a lot more money, but it still was only a 3rd-year scholar. But I took that, so it was kind of 3 years I ended up getting there, like.
Of course, then you left Liverpool and you had did you have a few trials? Was Ipswich the only sort of trial that you were sort of interested in because of your boyhood hero, Roy Keane?
I tell you, I was like, Roy Keane's mother's house actually only out the road from my house, and I was kind of home when I first went over the first couple months. I was kind of homesick. I was literally, I couldn't wait to go home. I was like, I just need to go home. And my dad's mum actually got on to, I think it was his mum, and they passed through their numbers, and he rang me. I remember I was in my digs one night sitting down, and we had a number ringing me, and I was playing FIFA against a young lad who was, you know, obviously the son of the parents in the house. So I pick up the phone anyway. It's Roy Keane on the phone, and I remember the kid going to me, going, "Who's on the phone?" And I goes, "It's Roy Keane." He goes, "Fuck off, and stop lying." You know what I mean? Like, he's like, "Go away." I swear to God, I had to leave the room, and he was on the phone to me, and he was just talking to me. And he was literally just saying, look, you need to stick at it. Like, and it was one of them things, like, it was, you know, a fair boost in fairness. Like, I was buzzing. Like, he's in fairness, he's from Cork, he's my hero going up, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, I played for the same childhood team he played for most of my childhood. Like, he was my idol, like. And that was kind of my first feelings with him. And then, obviously, he was manager of Sunderland, and we were playing in the academy one time. He was down watching, and I spoke to him again then, and he kind of talking to me, and like, I was kind of in and out talking to him, and he was like, look, I'll bump into you again, whatever. I was kind of trying to get him to Sunderland, to be honest with you. And because I actually done alright in the game. But then again, I was home at Christmas time again, and I can't remember, was he gone from Sunderland or what, but I remember I literally just said, look, I'm going to call out to his mum's house here and just try and get in contact with him. And he did. In fairness, like, I went to his mum, and he rang me, and when I went back to England, he invited me down to his house in Manchester. So I drove down to his house in Liverpool, and he was asking me kind of all these questions, but he was definitely gone from Sunderland at that time. Yeah. And he was letting me watch him questions, like, we played a game of snooker in his house. And I remember playing snooker with him, and I remember thinking I didn't want to win, because I was thinking I don't want to beat him in his own game. And I remember I missed the red, and I think he kind of knew I missed the red, and he said, "Are we playing a game here or what?" And I said, "All right, look, I'll try and play." And he just looked at me as if to go, "Play properly if you're going to play." Like, I should have known anyway from the start. Like, yeah. And I remember Liverpool playing a Cup game starting. He was kind of talking about football and this and that. Like, and I had his number from that day on. And he obviously, that would have been January or February. And I remember, I left Liverpool in probably the April. I just had enough. I was like, obviously I wasn't playing the games. So I was a 3rd-year scholar, and I wanted to go home with the view of trying to go back in the summer. Now, looking back at the time, I was thinking I didn't know what my plan was, because I didn't really have anyone to go back to, and I didn't have an agent. So I was thinking, what am I Oh, I did have an agent, sorry, but like they were literally doing, I mean, beyond nothing.
Okay.
And I remember obviously at home watching the news, and next thing Roy Keane got the job. Like the Ipswich job, I think there was a bit of, I think he was in. There was a lot of rumours going around. He was going to get. I think it was QPR at the time, or someone else at the time, and it came out that he got the Ipswich job, and he literally got the job. And they must have texted him the next day saying, "Is there any chance you can give me a chance? Whatever." And in fairness to me, he got back to me and he said, "Yeah, look, you can come over for pre-season. You can have a trial and see how you go. Whatever, like no promises or whatever." And the woman working in the club, Fran, got on to me and said, come over on. I think it was the 1st of July that year, to come over for a trial. So I went over on a trial, and there was, I think originally for a couple of weeks, and it was one of them things. For the minute you go into the club, I absolutely loved the place. The training ground was unbelievable. The lads were great. Sometimes you go into a dressing room and you just know a lot of lads don't interact with you. I remember there was, I think Ed Upson was in there, Jack Ainsley. They were kind of all in our dressing room, and Reggie Lamb and people like that. And they were just literally sound from the minute. Tommy Smith, they'd all come over and say hi to you. Jordan Rose, actually, at the time was still there. They'd all talk to you, say hi. And it kind of made you feel welcome. And I remember training with the club for a couple of weeks. I think the first team went away somewhere for a match or something. And I stayed, and I scored 3, but they only gave me 2 on the thing against Gorlinston, I think the name was. I never scored a header. They put it down as an own goal. I was fuming. But and then I done well. And I remember going to Brian Clough at the time, like absolute gem of a man, just absolute gem. I remember going to him because my trial was up after one of the games, and I said to him, "But I'm not sure what I'm meant to do here, because I'm meant to go home, but I don't have a flight booked, and I'm not sure what's happening." He just turned to me and said, "Oh, look, you won't be going anywhere." So I was like, "All right, happy days." And I had to wait for Roy Keane to come back, obviously, from the thing, and obviously I went in to meet him, and he sat me down in the chair, and he goes, "Look, this will be the terms of the thing, whatever." And I remember I turned around to him and he goes, "This is the terms." I just said, "No problem." So I just took it, ran with it. It was for a year. I think it was a year's contract. And he said, "Look, you can prove yourself in the year." I said, "Great." And in fairness, what I will say about him though is that even though like he gave me the chance and it was great, he didn't. I think he let other people make the decision on whether I was worthy enough to be at the club. He didn't make the decision himself. Which was kind of good for me because I didn't feel like he was giving me the chance. I felt like I actually earned the chance to be there through the training sessions and the games I kind of played. I think I got 5 in the 3 trial games, which was which is weird for me. So I was kind of used to playing left back, but they kind of had to play midfield and that in the games. But Ryan was like, I don't know if you remember him at the club. Yeah, he was like great, like for us as reserve lads that weren't involved. Like he'd bring us in on a Saturday, and there could be only 6 or 7 people there, and he put on just this unbelievable session that would make 6 or 7 lads that should be interested in a training session.
Yeah, he gets a lot of.
He just had a way with everyone, and that's why I always say like he's the best coach I could have dreamed to have worked for, like, or even ever worked with. He was just, no matter if it was 20 people or 7 people in a training group, he knew what to get out of them lads. And you never came out of a session going like, "Oh my God, like that was boring," or the same thing again. Like he always had this knack of putting on a different session and variety, just making it interesting. Like, and I always felt like if I ever took anything from someone, it was always him. I always like look at him and the way he was with people. Like, because I actually think he went back to the club when. Was it Mick McCarthy was there? I think McCarthy brought him back, didn't he?
He left for a bit. I think when Paul Jewell and stuff.
I don't think I should tell that. Like when he left, I was heartbroken, and the reason he got left was an absolute joke. But look, so he was, I don't know, but I was buzzing when I saw he went back because like he's a gem of a fella, like, and he should be involved, especially with. If there's like things he can do for lads is unbelievable. The way just mentality, I think that's a lot of things about keeping lads mentally in the right frame of mind. And if there's any man that could do that, it was always him. He was very, very good at that. Like,
yeah, he gets a lot of praise from a lot of players. Even I've seen him in action as well. And for him, he took charge of the team. He won the Youth Cup in 2005. So it showed like we may have not had the best youth team, but we beat the likes of Southampton, who had the likes of Theo Walcott, Gareth Bale, and these players. So he's a gem of a man, and I'm pleased he's still at the club and he's still doing some massive things. Bringing players through now. It's great, and it's great to hear that he's somebody you know well as well.
I was gutted when he left, like really gutted, like in the circumstance he left. I was thinking like the man deserved much more than that, and to be just, and then because he was so important to us at the time, and then he was just gone, and then there was the void he left was huge, like, and then I was buzzing when I heard he went back. It's like he's irreplaceable in clubs like that. Like, I mean, there is literally no one else can do his job in that area. Like, there's nobody. Like, he go to any club, he's just infectious, like, And I just think he was seriously undervalued, like, because I think even for Roy to let him go, seriously undervalued, because all of a sudden you have lads that aren't playing and there's nobody there talking to him. There's nobody lending an ear to him, and he's like, you know what I mean? Like that side of the game was seriously undervalued. I think letting him go was a big mistake. Like, they're
sometimes the sort of unsung heroes, aren't they? Because they're in the back door, sort of there just to help players when they're not really in the public eye, and telling these stories about Brian is great, because we won't know about this because it's behind closed doors, really, because he's helping players who just need a shoulder or whatever, just to have a chat, really. And as you said,
but that's why I don't think the managers know either, though, because they don't. Yeah. They're probably on the team bus or they're at home on a Saturday, and now you're getting brought in at 10 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday, and then you're thinking I have to go and watch that match later, and not even in the squad. But you have this man here who's putting on a training session that makes you forget about it for 2 hours. You know what I mean? And you're just thinking, fucking hell, like, how did he... You come out of the training session nearly happy, and then realise you have to go to the game anyway, and you're super upset again. But at least you had 2.5 hours of forgetting about it, because he was able to do something and change him and make it interesting. Like, and I always respect him a lot for that. Like, you see even the lads who... Like, I was only young at the time, but lads who were training with us that were experienced, like, and you'd see them actually doing the session properly in respect for Brian. And because he was putting on a session and he could relate to him, he wasn't there just going, look, you're here, do the session, which a lot of coaches would do. Yeah. Like, they'd say, look, you're here now, you listen to me. He was just understanding, knew how to speak to people, treated them with respect, and then obviously he got it back in abundance, like, and that's why people like me, who I only had 6 months dealing with, not even 6 months dealing with him, and he's the best coach I think I've ever worked for. I'm only sorry I didn't get to work longer with him.
Do you know why he got? Is it because of money, or was it just disagreement or something like that?
There was a story. There's a story that I was actually out at the time with my knee. I hurt my knee, I done my medial ligament, and my first 3 months there. Unfortunately, I was out for about 2.5 months, 3 months, and he was bringing the lads in on a Saturday, as I was saying to you, and the gym session was done, and he got let go because he left before the gym session was finished. That was the story of why he got let go, like, and I was thinking that was unbelievable. Like, he'd done his part, do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Obviously meant to do stand there and watch us finish a bit of weights, like, I always felt like why the man was gone for how many years after that, and I was good to see him go, I know obviously with Roy Keane at the time was because of respect and like, see a job, but I thought it was for what he done for us. Like, I couldn't believe that he was gone after such a minor thing, like.
So we'll go on to sort of your debut now as well. Can you remember much of your debut against Shrewsbury? As a cup win?
Yeah, Jesus, yeah, I can remember that, like, yesterday. Yeah. I remember being told to warm up in the first half, and I must have been warming up for 25 minutes. Is he going to bring me on here or what? So I think he brought me on the second half at some stage, and I remember Paul said to me one stage about 40 yards out. I remember hitting I don't know, it didn't nearly go in, but I remember thinking, fuck, that was close, like. But I remember 3-3 draw going to penalties, and us winning the game, like. But I remember him caning a few people at half. It was kind of my first experience of a kind of a competitive game being in the dressing room. And I remember at half time he was livid, like, going through a few people. Like, I remember thinking, Jesus, don't want that to be me, like. And he because obviously the team he put out was a lot different to the one on the Saturday, the start of the game. It was kind of kind of, I don't want to say fringe players, but it kind of was a lot of them, because there was a few. I mean, Johnny Walters was playing and people like that. I remember Jack Hallback was playing. I don't know, it was Jack's first game actually. but like it was kind of fringe. I remember Ed. I think Ed made his first start as well. I think he scored a penalty. But it was, I remember the game well. Like it was buzzing because it was obviously huge for me. I think there was 2 shirts on the thing after the peg. I think I took 2 of them. I was thinking, I don't know if I'm ever going to get this again, so I'm taking the boat with me.
Yeah, I'm looking at the team now. You know, you got Shane Suffolk in goal. You know, you said Jack Ainsley starting, Alex Bruce, Tommy Smith. You know, young Tommy Smith. Then you said Cole back as well, and you know Reggie Lamb as well. You mentioned you actually replaced Owen Garvin in that game.
Did I replace Gareth? I couldn't remember who I came on for.
Yeah.
Gareth. Gareth. It was a young enough team that I remember. It was a young enough team that went.
Yeah.
But I remember we just about got the job done that time.
Yeah, it must have been. Could you? I don't think you took a penalty in this game, but were you prepared to take one? Did you sort of like put your hand up and go, "Yeah, I'll take one if need be," or were you just?
What? I genuinely wanted to, but I was that kind of like I didn't feel I was like, oh no, do you know what? Like I was kind of like waiting for him to come to me instead of me going to him, and I think a few people had already. And I actually remember especially Ed. Like he was like, if you want to see the difference of 2 people, like I think maybe it was the confidence, but like he was like, yeah, I'll take it, and I was kind of like waiting to be asked instead of going, I'll take it. I would like just take one for the crack of taking one, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
To say I took one, but I remember Ed standing out with me in that conversation. That's the only thing I can remember from the Huddle before the penalty shootout, was him going, "I'll take one," and I was thinking, "Jesus, you some bottle on you, don't you?" And because I think I more wanted to take one without asking, but he just went, "I'm taking one." And it was because there was a few people that could have took one over him, you know, because he was young, like he must 18, 19, whatever he was. So in fairness to him, he stepped up and I remember him scoring. So like he used to take him for the resis. He was the number 1 taker, and I don't think he ever missed one. To be honest with you, he was quite confident lad. Surprised he actually went. In fairness, that year, good player, very good player. Surprised he wasn't kept on. Like
he's done well though for himself. I think he went to Millwall, and I think he's at Bristol Rovers now. So he's done.
Yeah, and he was at
Yeovil as well. Yeah.
Good, like gifted left and right foot. Like his feet were. I remember seeing him in training a few times. It was like one of the things you'd look at him and go, like, there's not many people that would have the feet you have, like, you know. Maybe fitness at the time was maybe something might let him down. That's the only thing I could think of, because football wise there wasn't a lot of people that would you take is better at football than them at the club, even that were in the first team. Do you know what I mean? He was very good, like passing. So I wasn't surprised he went on to play like at a similar level, even Championship. I know it was at League One, was at Millwall, was a Championship.
Yeah.
But he was a very good player. I was surprised he did leave, because I thought he would have done a job. Like
yeah, definitely. That's just one of those times when there was a lot of in midfield. I felt like there's a lot of young players coming through. Like Luke Hyon was coming through at the time as well, and of course Roy was a big fan of him. But you, of course, then it took you a while to. You said you had a few injuries, because it took you a while to make your first league debut. Against Sheffield Wednesday. Yeah. How was that experience going to Hillsborough? Of course, part of the winning team and starting your first, championship game. That must have been a great day.
Like in fairness, because when I hurt my knee that time, I think it was all September time. I hurt my knee, and I was kind of out to like November, and I think it was literally like the best thing, or it was December time I was out. I think it was the best thing to happen to me, because I was put in the gym and I literally was with Ben Thatcher and David Norris, because David Norris done his knee in the first game of the season that year. It was the second game, remember?
Yeah.
And he was out for months, and the 3 of us were in the gym every day, and Ben Thatcher was a living nightmare. The man just loved weights, and he would be dragging you. And I remember I hated him at the start, because he kept making me do things I couldn't do. I couldn't do it. He's like, look at you cheating. And he just kept on at me and kept on at me and kept on at me. And eventually I got better in the gym, started doing things he'd do. And obviously Chuck is just a machine, like, so he was just able for anything. But like it literally built, I got a lot stronger. I got a lot fairer, because once we were able to run on the pitch, we were running every day together. Like Ben Thatcher must have been 33 at the time, but sure, he was fit as a fiddle. And obviously Chuck coming back from his knee, but we kind of pushed each other, and I got really, really fit at that time. But when we came back in the January time, there was the gaffer, and he had this obsession with bleed tests. And I remember the first bleed test I must have came back to do, and as I've gone to do it, there was most of the resis, and there was a couple of first team. I think Alan Quinn was there, and a couple of other lads. And he says, as he's walking through the middle of the bleed test, he's gone, "You better win this today," to me, you know. I had no intention of winning at the start, but as soon as he said that, I was like, right. But I did. I won it. And then we had another bleed test literally, I'd say 2 or 3 days later, or maybe a week later, and I won it again. And then we had another one, must have been only a week or two later again. We must have done 3 or 4 big tests in the space of a month, like. And I remember I won them all, and I think he ended up making me captain of the reserves. I think because basically he liked my mentality.
Yeah.
I genuinely do. And he made me captain of the reserves for about 3 or 4 games, and I played a game on the Tuesday or Wednesday before I made my debut. I scored 2. It was kind of at a stage where I felt my confidence was literally flying. It's probably one of the most confident I've been. I think Ben Thatcher went left back at half time, and I got 2 in the space of 15 minutes second half in left midfield, and I hurt my ankle, and he made me come off straight away. And next thing I knew, I was travelling on the Saturday. I remember going for a walk, and the physio says to me, Matty says to me, "Is your leg all right?" And I've gone, "It's a bit sore, like, well, I'll be grand, like, you know." And he's gone, "I'm only going to be sitting in the sand, aren't I?" And he's like, "I don't know about that." And I've gone, "I'll just be grand, I'll be sitting in the sand, like, it's not going to get hurt in the sand, is it?"
Yeah.
And we've gone on a walk, and he's gone, "I wouldn't count on that." Like, going, "Well, the worst case scenario is I'm sitting on the bench, isn't it? So I wouldn't worry too much about it." And because I hadn't been in the squad before that, like, not even like nothing near it, like, so I was just, next thing we're sitting in the team room, and he pulls over the sheet of paper. He has my name in the left back. Damon Delaney turns around, looks at me, and gone, "You're in for a dose on it." God, Jesus. And to be honest, I was buzzing. I wasn't even worried. I was just buzzing. Like, I think even I forgot about my leg. I got my leg strapped before the game, and I'm standing there on the pitch, and Damien's playing left centre back, like, and he's just turned to me, and there's this music Hillsborough plays, and I was a little bit nervous. In fairness, I was kind of going, "Oh, this is a bit," because the stadium wasn't full, but there was a good crowd there, 20,000, 30,000. I've never played in front of that, so I was thinking, "Geez, this is a new experience." Like, and Damon turns to me, and this music plays, and next thing I look at Damon, there he is. "This is what it's about. I love this song." And he literally relaxed me by just doing that, because I was like, "It's only a game of ball," like, and I just we kept a clean sheet. We won 1-0. Carlos Edwards got a cracker, and I was buzzing, absolutely buzzing. And I kept my place for a while in the team. I think we played Scunthorpe on the Tuesday after that. I made a good header. I think we drew 1-1. I think David Healy scored, and we kind of went on an alright run. Then we kind of kept a few clean sheets, and he was kind of a bit wary with me, because I remember Keane saying to me, "I don't really want to be playing every game," when it was kind of where I wanted to play every game, because I was playing well. Like, I remember he took me out in an Easter game against Redden, but then put me back in on the Monday against Derby away that we won. We actually won both the games, so we actually got on a good run of form towards the end of the season that year. But I think we were just too far away from kind of close to the playoffs or anything like that. Like, we were never going to make that kind of run. But we kind of made a good run, in fairness, towards the end of the season. I played, must have been 12 out of the last 15 or 16 or something like that anyway.
Yeah, I got your you've got your stats and games up right now. You know, you played 13 games in that season. Of course, you had a good game against Cardiff. I think I remember a 2-0 win there. I think you got praised a lot for that.
That's one that sticks out, in fairness, the Cardiff one.
Yeah.
It was my home debut, because I'll tell you a story about the Cardiff game. Because I got dropped. We played Blackpool on the Saturday before that, and I got dropped from that squad because on the Friday, listen, Damon Delaney actually, he's a recurring team here. On the Friday, we used to do boxes, right? Which is kind of like, 2 in the middle and pass around the side. Like, we do that a lot in training. And on the Friday, we'd normally do that and kind of like a little game and a bit of shape or whatever. So we've done the boxes, but like, in the boxes, I'm telling you now, Damo was a wind-up Martin, and the lads were just stitching me up, and I mean now, leathering the ball at me. But they kept putting me in the middle for it, obviously because I was a young kid. And every time Keno looked over, I was in the middle. And so anyway, we've done the boxes, and I thought nothing of it. Like, I'm fuming at Damo, like, fucking shit passing this and that and the other. And I've gone over, and the next thing they've called out the team, and I've played now every game up to this point. Like, I think I've played 3 or 4 or 5 in a row up to this point, so I think I'm playing, like. And anyway, I'm not called over. I think, second, I'm on the bench. So anyway, the lads go over to do their set pieces. We kind of do our own bit, and then we're going in afterwards. And Liam Rosenior calls me, and he's gone, "You've had such a nightmare, son. You've gone from starting to being on the bench because you were so bad in the box." Because he literally scribbled my name out and put Liam's in. He dropped me for Liam because of how bad I was in the boxes. Wow. But it wasn't that I was bad, it was because the lads were stitching me up. But not only then did I get dropped from the team, I actually got dropped from the squad.
Oh.
I let out completely. I was absolutely fine. And on the Sunday, we came in for training, and we were training on a Sunday, and he pulled me aside. He got, "Whoever train like that again, you'll never pay for me." But I was lucky because the lads got beat 1-0 in Blackpool. I got put back in on the Tuesday. I was thinking, like, what was the thinking there, like?
Yeah, it's one of those. That's one thing about training. That's sort of good advice. So, sometimes the manager is watching you all the whole time, and you can start one week and then one bad training session, which
completely. Like, I was literally starting on the way out and then just done. Like, it's not the only time like it happened. It happened a couple of times. Just thinking weird explanation. I remember another time. It was the following year. Remember Chris Cromley was the Dwarf manager, and he's gone. Shane, you're starting on Saturday. The first thing was kind of one of them where I was only kind of getting back in from a hamstring thing, and I was only getting back in. He said, "Shane, you're starting Saturday," and he told me this on the Thursday, right? We came in on the Friday. I hadn't even trained. I came back in on the Friday. Chris has gone, "Shane, oh, you're with us, son. You're not even in the squad." What could I have done in my sleep?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then I don't want to bring this up as well, but there's one game against Doncaster, of course, you gave away a penalty. I don't want to. In terms of a defender that happens. As a young kid, did the gaffer, the Roy, did he give you a bollocking for that?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Do you know what though? It was an absolute horrific header by me, and I put it up in the air, and I felt Murph could have came for it because I felt it was up in the air that long. Murph could have came and took it. So when then your man's come inside me, but I've not pushed him. Like he's literally, like I think even because Sean Adjustment signed me a couple of times after that game. Because he thought I'd play well. So I was marking Jess, J. Emmanuel Thomas in the game, and for the first 15 minutes, he's absolutely abused me. I thought, what am I going to do here to stop this fella? And I just thought, I'm just nailing him. And I just went through him a couple of times, and he kind of stopped, and he kind of didn't get anything else off me. And I think Sean tried to sign me a couple of times because that game was always stuck out with him. I remember him saying to me, he goes, "I don't think that was a pen," and I goes, "It wasn't. I didn't push him." Now I leant into him, but I didn't push him. Now, your man's bought penalty, and in fairness, it looked like a penalty, and I'm still to this day, it wasn't a pen, because it gripes on me, because I remember thinking, because I cost us 3 points, because it was 1-1 after that, and he abused me, 20 minutes in the dressing room, absolutely got it, he got it. So there's nothing you can say back, he gave away the penalty, there's nothing you can do, I put myself in a position because it was a crap header, like even if I say it's not a penalty, well, just head the ball away, you know what I mean, like it wasn't a hard header. But I remember putting myself in the opposite. I felt Murph could have came, and he didn't, and then I kind of panicked a bit, and that's why I kind of probably bent into your man, left him get wrong side. But yeah, it didn't matter whether you were 17 or 31, you were getting it off the gaffer in the dressing room after something like that.
Of course, you were rewarded, for your good, appearances at 2 years ill, I think it was.
Yeah.
Did you feel like, okay, here we go, kick on, let's go for it? I think during that season, your first season, you rejected like a sort of low move because you wanted to sort of. I think that's right. Hopefully, I got my facts right there.
No. First, did he? I don't think my first. I think my second year.
Okay.
Second year. It was my second year, and he wanted me to go on loan to where? I can't remember where. Well, I pulled me in his office because the season started and
Hereford, I think it was.
Wasn't in. I think he signed Mark Kennedy and Darren O'Dea he brought down, and I'll be honest with you, it didn't start well for me with the contract because he offered me a contract, right? And I was like, you must be kidding me, like you must be kidding me. I must be literally the lowest paid player in the club if you're offering me that. And I remember I remember when the agency, I didn't have an agent. When I first came, I done my own thing when I came to Ipswich with my contract, and I done my own thing. I didn't want an agent because the other one had done nothing for me, and I just said, look, I don't trust him. And I remember Ben Thatcher, obviously, who him and Roy didn't get on. He was becoming an agent at the time. I remember sitting in Alan Quinn's car and snatches on the. He's on the loudspeaker and he's gone, "I'll make you a millionaire, Shane. No, son, you stick with me." And all. I thought I was great with him. I loved him, like. Yeah. And he said, Roy said, "Look, if anyone goes with Ben Thatcher, I won't be dealing with you. Won't get a deal with the club, whatever." And I've then not gone with Snatch because of that reason. But then I kind of ended up falling out with Snatch because he felt I should have been more kind of loyal, which I should have, because he was very good to me as well. He was, when I was injured, he was the one who got me through it. I ended up going with this other agent who kind of further down the line done me over again. So I ended up going with him through a fella that I knew. And he goes to me, this is the best they can do. I was like, are you kidding me? Like, I goes, it's barely anything more than I was on last year. I goes, there's literally, lads, I played more games than last year on like 10 times what I'm on, like. And he's gone, oh, like this is all you can get, whatever. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, so I remember Roy got on to someone else and he was raging that I wouldn't sign the deal that he was offering me, which I felt a bit hypocritical of him, because I remember reading things about him not signing a contract. Now I know with United, but I was looking for a smidge in the career what he was looking at, and I just felt I deserve more. And what I said to my agent at the time, I goes, they're not looking to play me here, because I goes, if they're offering me this money, then it's not what they're looking to bring in someone else. He obviously doesn't want to play me. And when I got back, he made me come back, because obviously the first team had a date to come back to training, which I had, and I think the Resis or youth team had the week before. And Fran had to send out a message to me saying, you have to come back the week before because he wants to see you the week before. So I had to actually come back before everyone else to see him. Now, when I got back, my squad number was changed from 30 to number 3, which might think, oh, well, look, he does have in his plans to pay me if he's giving me number 3, you know. But he pulls me into his office and he just absolutely slated me. This is my first day of pre-season now, and he is slating me, saying this and that. Who do I think I am? Should have taken this? Why aren't I? I still hadn't signed the contract, but my contract was technically up. I hadn't signed it. So he's like, why aren't you signing the contract? And I was just like, money, whatever. He goes, and then I remember. The only regret I have is taking that contract, because I was kind of under. I was never on good money, and I was always kind of under a little bit of financial pressure. And I think what dragged into that season and with me was I was taking stuff from home onto the pitch. I was never able to just concentrate on football. I was never given the luxury. Lads were able, I was always chasing and trying to make up stuff. And I think he could have took, because he knew. Because I'll tell you a story that actually no one knows, right? Okay, it's the gospel truth. I actually told people that half the story is true. I told people, but I actually had a car. When I was a little, I got a car. It was a red Audi, cracker of a car. Brand new at the time. I think I was paying £300 and something for it at the time. And I got to Liverpool. But when I was in Ipswich, right, about 8 o'clock in the morning, the bell is ringing in my gaff, ringing. You know, who the hell is that? People have come to take my car away. They're literally repossessing my car. Like in like the November time, I'd only signed it. So like I'm afraid to answer the doorbell. Don't answer the doorbell. And they take the car away. So I remember going into Fran in the Ipswich PA, like, and I remember saying, "Oh, look, my car's gone." I don't know what to do here. I obviously owe these people money. I remember them sorting out a thing for where I could pay the money, like, or whatever. But I remember going into the gaffer, like, and he said, "Well, what's wrong with you?" Whatever. And I remember telling him, and he was like, he basically said, you shouldn't have had that car anyway. You didn't deserve it because I hadn't worked hard enough for it. Like, I was right to get rid of it. I didn't really get rid of it. It was taken off me. Like, I just told people that, because obviously I had to think of the story. He said, look, you told me to get rid of it, whatever. And I remember thinking, like, him knowing what he knew, how much struggling I was going through. And then he was still, I think he was offering me, I think when I went there, I was on 700 for my first year. And then after me playing them games, I think he upped the offer to 1100. Okay. And I was just like, there's people on 5-6 grand here that aren't playing games, and you're offering me 11. And I was thinking, like, you must be off your mind. I remember going in to sign the contract with Simon Clegg, and I didn't have much season with Simon Clegg. I didn't really get on with him, so I always felt he was kind of snidey. Not snidey, but not sincere. Like, you know what I mean? I always felt he wasn't really he wasn't really talking to you. He didn't really care. Yeah. But I remember when he sat down with the contract, I remember him looking at it. And I remember him looking back and he goes, "Are you sure you're okay?" He literally said the words, "Are you sure you're okay with this? Is this enough?" There was his exact words to me. And I said, "No." I said, "They're obviously not enough, because I've said they're not enough 100 times." And he's gone, "Right." And he goes, "Are you happy to sign it?" And I was like, "I have no choice to sign it, because I've tried to leave. I can't, because obviously now they'll owe a load of money because I'm after playing a certain amount of games." And I've gone, he's not budging anyway, so if I don't sign, I have nowhere to go. So I signed the deal, which I think was 11. But I think it would double if I played games, or there was a certain amount of money if I played a game, but not if I came on. So if I came on, I got nothing. So I was like, so then when I was on the bench, he was bringing me on. I was thinking, I'm still struggling here, and you're just killing me. So then when he brought in all these other left backs, he goes, "No, I'm not even going to be playing." So I'm kind of battling two demons in one. And I remember going away with Ireland, and I played against the second game against who did we play that year? Exeter in the League Cup. We had a good run in the League Cup that year, and we played Leicester. We beat them. I played against Burnley at home. I thought I'd done quite well, and then he brought in Darren Roddy. The next week I was on the bench against Palace. I came on against Palace. Came on against Bristol City at home. Came on against them, and then I went away with Ireland, and I actually tore my hamstring. And as I've come back from tearing my hamstring, I'm walking down the corridor. And he's gone to me, why are you going away with them? Or he said something about them lines about Ireland, what are you doing away with them? And I was like, I had no choice, you have to go. And he just said, well, that's you done for a few months then, you won't be involved. And I was just like, how is it my fault I got injured? Now, I was only out for about 5 or 6 weeks, but I literally didn't get near the first team for nearly 3 months. And I think it was only because with the reserves, I was playing left back with the reserves, and it was kind of one of them, my confidence was quite high. And I was playing left back with reserves, but I was literally nearly scoring every week. I was out right wing when I was meant to be left back. I literally, not to sound condescending, because I just found it so easy. And it's amazing with the confidence, because 2 years later in the duel, I was cracking the reserves, I could barely move. I didn't know what to do. But it's just amazing, the confidence. I found it so easy. And I remember him putting me back in. He actually brought me on against Swansea. Because in fairness, the team were doing really well that year. We were up there at the top of the table for months when I was out. Remember, I think we must have been in the top 2 or 3 for 2 or 3 months, weren't we? And then we kind of started to fall down. Then we're definitely in the top 6, and then we started to fall down. And I remember he brought me on against Swansea at home, which I think we won. I think wasn't it Andros got a header in that game?
No, we lost 3-1, unfortunately.
Oh, we lost 3-1, but Andros, do you know what I think we won? I think Andros' header. I think that's what I think we won. Because I still remember
good at it, yeah.
Because they got late goals or something, wasn't it? Yeah. And then I got left out completely the following week. I wasn't even in the squad. I think the lads were away to Preston. And then obviously the following game was the Leicester game, and I was put back in for that. And that was the game then where I felt that was the best. The best I was playing was then, because I felt I was after going through a bit. I didn't really care, and I was flying. Even in training, I was flying. And then obviously I dislocated my shoulder on Christmas Eve, because Aaron Lee Barrett came down on top of me with Darren Roddy, dislocated my shoulder. And obviously then Roy had gone and Paul had come in within the kind of time I was trying to get back.
Shall we quickly talk about the Leicester game? That was a very interesting night, or day, against Leicester. Of course, a very snowy day. What's your memories from that day in terms of you were seeing the weather? Were the players?
I was just hoping it was going ahead because it was on Sky. It would have been my first game on Sky, and I was just praying because I knew I was playing. I was like, "Oh, please go ahead, please go ahead," and it did. And I remember even during the game, it was like God, the Leicester lads were obviously trying to get, because they were we had the game done within 20 minutes, and they were literally trying to get a call off for the whole game onto the ref. What's going on here? What's going on here? And I remember they pulled us off after 55, 60 minutes, whatever, to go into the dressing room. I remember the ref coming in. I remember we needed the 3 points time. I remember the ref coming in. I remember Roy just saying to the ref, "This isn't getting called off here." I think Spence said something. I think he made a bolt out the door, and then Spence didn't say no more for the rest of the time. And the game went ahead. I think the only reason the game went ahead because of Roy, because I think he literally said, "Don't you try and call this game off," because I think they were that afraid of him. Because we needed the 3 points at the time, and we worked our way into the game. There was 67 minutes gone. They played that long, they might as well finish it out. But it was a mad game. It was a mad game. I remember getting pulled off a couple of times because of the snow to clear the lines. Even in the warm up, you were thinking how is this going to go ahead? But I think it was one of the best games we played about 2 months at the time.
Yeah, that's a game that a lot of when I've spoken to a few Town fans about yourself, that people always rave about your performance in that game. Of course, your assist for Jason Scotland's goal, and of course it was
I've watched it on YouTube a few times.
Yeah.
But I think it was the snow. Everyone goes, if it was snowing every week, I would have been playing every week. I think they're not wrong.
Yeah. Of course, then after that you didn't play for a while. Of course, then Roy Keane got sacked. What was your first reaction? Where were you when that sort of got announced and stuff like that?
I was at home, and obviously I texted, because obviously I had my. Roy was always very good to me. I would never came over if it wasn't for Roy. He was very good to me. Obviously, there's certain things I didn't agree with. I think he could have done it better. I felt he took things sometimes personally with me, but I think overall he was very, very good to me. And I remember I actually went to his house after he was sacked, just to talk to him, to see how he was, whatever. Because I still have a lot of respect for him for what he done, because he was very good to me. And I felt there was a lot of lads in fairness, there was a lot of lads afraid of the way he was, because like in the corridor, you couldn't walk down the corridor, you wouldn't know what mood you're in, he'd pain someone for no reason. But I felt a lot of lads were very, very happy he got sacked, which I felt it was nearly like a party, which I felt was wrong, because at the end of the day, like, it wasn't him that was going out on the pitch losing, that drops down the table. Do you know what I mean? I know he can maybe create an atmosphere or whatever, but it wasn't him, and I felt like we'd let him down. Even though maybe I didn't play it as much, but I felt like I was kind of coming into my own, and I felt I'd finally broken him down, because I literally felt he was going to play me. I finally got on the good side of him, and then he gets sacked. I'm like, for God's sake, like, now a new fella's coming in. And I remember the first conversation I had with Paul Jewell, and he says to me, alright, how are you? And he's gone, your man got the sack. That was the way he phrased me, your man got the sack. And I was like, yeah, and I was like, and I think you could see I was gutted about it, but I was gutted about it as well, because like, I was annoyed at some people's reactions towards him getting fired, because I was thinking, not necessary at the end of the day, like, you know what I mean? You shouldn't really celebrate some fella losing his job. He wasn't bad to everybody. He just wanted to win. He was from United. He had this thing about wanting to win, and that's the way he was born and bred. He didn't accept people losing, or accept people or wanting to not be the best. You know what I mean? Not be top of the league. And I think sometimes that's where we players and him clash, like. And I just think I was gutted when he left. I felt he could have turned it around with time, but they brought in Paul, and I just think for whatever reason he didn't like me, because he felt I had allegiance to Roy, which I didn't have. I did and I didn't. Like, I mean, you have a new manager, you're going to work for that manager, you know. But I just think from the get-go he did not like me, and for whatever, because I actually came back a few weeks early from my shoulder, like, because I mean, I done my shoulder on Christmas Eve, and I was back by the second leg of the Arsenal game, which was nearly end of January. And they said I was going to be out for a good bit longer than that, like, just so I could get back for him. And the only game he played me in was that game against Arsenal. I wasn't in any squad before that. I think it was the first game I was back, and he put me straight in the squad for the Arsenal game. He brought me on in the game. And I was thinking, he must think I'm alright, like. And I done alright the game, and we were already 3-0 down at the time, and you know, we were done as far as the tie was concerned, like. And then again, he never put me in the squad again, and he just didn't like me from whatever it was from the get-go. Like, he just didn't like me. Why, I don't know, because I didn't actually feel I was a troublemaker as such.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't go into training and take the mick and do this and that, whatever, because for the first few months I did try, but no, he didn't have me one bit, not one bit, which I don't really know why, because I never really done anything wrong. So I remember even Crazy coming in, and he came in the January, or not January, in the summer. And I remember obviously I came back, and I was trying to go to Doncaster at the time, because Sean O'Driscoll was at Doncaster, and he still remembered me. And I was trying to get there, and he was like, look, you can come. He was, I think it was a 2 or 3 year deal. I was trying to get there, and he was basically saying the deal was done, like, you just need to come. But obviously they didn't want to be paying a fee, because obviously I was up next year, and they were like, you're not playing there, just come. And he wouldn't let me go to another championship team, because in case I had done well,
of course, yeah.
You know. And I was like, are you kidding me? Like, I'm not even going to be sitting on the bench here, and you won't let me go to another championship team. And he said, I remember Crazy coming in, and I remember training with Crazy. Like, I remember at the time when he came in, I was still kind of, I was still feeling okay. Like, I wasn't letting it get to me as much. So I was like, I was still training all right. I was thinking, there's not much between me and him here, you know. And I was thinking, like, I'm getting on a second, like, I still have a chance. Like, now Crazy, don't get me wrong, like, I'm not saying I was good at Crazy went on to unbelievable things. Yeah. Players a joke, like West Ham is a joke. Don't know how he hasn't gone play for England more and stuff like that. Like, I think he's unbelievable. But like, I'm just saying, at the time there wasn't much between us, and I think if he had given me a chance to train, I think, but even then he'd gone, look, Crazy play, whatever. And I remember then he said, look, you can go, but it has to be someone lower. So I've gone, right. So I'm looking for teams. My agent is barely trying, but he eventually goes, look, I have you a trial here at Crawley, you can go and train with them, see if they want you. So I've gone, right, go down to Crawley, happy days. I know they were League 2, but they were literally going to pay the same amount of money that I was going to be getting, maybe less, a couple $100 I was getting anyway. So the wages drop wasn't going to be a big factor for me from actually Championship to League 2 in that way, so it didn't bother me. So I was like, right, I'll go play. So I went down there, played a couple of training games, scored the first one. Then we played Palace, done well, and Steve Evans was manager. They said, look, we'll talk to your agent, we'll get you a deal done if you want to come. Judith actually said I could go. In fairness to him, he said, look, you can go. But anyway, 2, 3, 4 days have passed. I'm thinking, well, what's going on here? Like, why is it not done? And I I'm waiting for him, and Jewell called me into the office and said, look, it's not happening, whatever, something about your agent hasn't happened. Now, I didn't know what he meant. He didn't elaborate on what he meant by something with the agent or whatever. And he just said, look, you're going to have to stay or try and find somewhere else. So I've gone grand. But it was actually a year later. I went back on trial to Crawley a year later when Sean O'Driscoll actually got the Crawley job. He got the job a year later. This is when I'd actually gone from Ipswich, and I went back there a year later, and I'd only found out what happened the previous year. So the same scout, it was G. Evans, who was actually Steve's brother, picked me up from the airport. And I said to him, I've gone, what happened last year? Because I go, I wanted to come. And he went, your agent happened last year. And I goes, what do you mean? Like, and he's gone, your agent was trying to get this, that and the other out of us for himself. And I was like,
greedy fucker.
So, fuck you picking up the phone, ringing me and telling me this, like. And he was like, but that's not how it's done. I've gone, yeah, but like, I literally lost a career in England there. Because I'd gone back to Ireland. I literally lost everything a year because nobody bothered to pick up the phone and ring me and say, you're right. Like, I couldn't for the life of me understand. Now, I wasn't with that agent anymore because I'd gone and everything, but I was like, why did no one pick up the phone and ring me and say to me, he's been looking for this? I don't know what he was looking for. I think he was looking for like 10 grand or something. I can't remember what he said. He was looking for something just to put in his own pocket. And I remember being like, how does no one ring up? How do they not say that to Paul Jewell, and Paul Jewell say to me, you need to speak to him, or he's taking the piss out of you, because he wanted me out anyway, you know. And I was just thinking, like, was he happy enough just to see me screwed over? And I just couldn't believe it, like. And then, to be fair, the Crawley thing wasn't meant to be, because a year later when I went there, went on trial. Billy was there at the time, actually, Billy Clark. Yeah. And I went there on trial again, same thing, done great. Played on the Saturday. I remember playing the last game on the Saturday. I think it was Millwall or someone anyway. And Sean said to me, I'm going to get a contract done for you. Go back home, sort your stuff out, we'll bring you back over next week. And literally within the 5 days I got back home, he got the Forest job and the club didn't take my contract up. I was just like, that's me done. I don't want to play again. Like, no, I know I probably fast forwarded a bit there from when I left Ipswich, but that was just the Crawley story all tied into one.
No, that's good. That was going to come up because I'm trying my best on my research, but I just want to quickly just go to the Arsenal game quickly, and we'll go to everything else. That was, that must have been a good day or good night in general. I know you didn't have a great relationship with Paul, but to have, have opportunity to be in the squad against Arsenal, Arsenal weren't mucking about with their team, Fabregas again, Van Persie, some big names in there.
I remember Wiltshire actually stood out for me. I remember watching him play that game thinking, geez, he's something else here. But we could have. After the first leg, I thought we could have, if we just held down a bit more, maybe we could have gave him a game. But to play on the pitch, it was like I've never seen anything like it in my life. It was just an absolute carpet. It was phenomenal. Like even in the warm up, picking in the balls, it was just like this is it. Like this is where you want to be. Like it's unbelievable. There's no excuse here. You can't use. There's literally no excuse under the sun to misplace a pass or miscontrol. It's just not happening. Like lower down the leagues, fair enough, championship, you can understand, but that pitch there was just no excuse. Like it was unbelievable, and it's still something I remember fondly now. Like I mean, to play there is unbelievable. Sometimes when I see it on telly, I just think, how did I manage to play there? But it was unbelievable. Like it was great. Like even though it was one of them things, like you didn't really say it, but even losing, I was still happy to have lost, to play there. As a young kid, like.
But yeah, then of course you left town, and you had all the Crawley sort of stuff. You of course returned back to Islands.
Yeah.
What was your sort of your current situation in terms of your mindset and just how you're feeling?
Do you know what? I'll be honest, right? I actually went on loan before I went back. I went on loan to Port Vale before I came home. Went on loan to them. I remember there was two teams in for me, Port Vale, and there was another team in, I don't know, was it Macclesfield or someone, they were battling League 2 relegation. It might have been Macclesfield. I don't know, someone was there. I can't think the manager was there at the time. It's an old player. And they wanted me to go there, and Paul Jewell literally said to me, you can't go there, you have to go to Port Vale. And I remember the other place was closer, and I was thinking, why can't I go there? And he was like, no, you have to go to Port Vale. They want you as well. I was like, but I can drive here every day, and he was like, no, have to go to Port Vale. So I was like, right, grand, I'll go to Port Vale. I got up to Port Vale on the Friday. Nicky Adams got up there on the Friday. I went in on the Friday, trained with the Redleys because they had a game that night and I'd only just got there. I went in to see Mickey Adams before the game. They played a Friday night game, and I literally went into the office to Mickey Adams, right, just gospel through, sat down with him and his assistant in the office, and he literally said to me, "So what's your name?"
What?
Yeah, and I've just gone, "Are you having a laugh?" I've gone, and he's gone, "Where do you play?" I've gone,
"This is a professional football club."
I've gone, like, "Why am I here?" Like,
yeah.
Why am I here? He's gone, and this he's gone to me, "We have a left back. He might get injured. If he does, I'll put you in the squad." He didn't put me near a squad. Like, I'm not being funny. I was one of the best in training, and it wasn't that hard. Like, the squad wasn't great at the time, but it was just a running club. He's run us all the time, and I was very fit. And I was just like, he doesn't even know who I am. Why did you make me come here when this fella doesn't even know who I am? Like, and then my agent, at the same fella at the time who done the Crawley deal, like, he sent me there as well. He's like, "Oh yeah, they want you," and I was like, "He doesn't know my name. He doesn't know who I am." Like, I remember ringing him saying, "He doesn't know my name." He goes, "He does." He goes, He doesn't know where I play." And I said, "Left back." He goes, "Oh, we have a left back. Yeah, he could get injured. You get it." And I was just playing resi games. I'd literally gone from playing resi games at Ipswich, who were a championship team, to gone playing resi games for League 2 team. And I've gone, how? And I think that's when I literally hit rock bottom, as in confidence. I'd gone. And I tell you a story now, I'm not even like it. I ended up getting a place. I had to rent a place. I had to pay for it myself because, oh no, I didn't. So I got money from the club, but I had to pay for it, and the club gave me money back. But I had to rent off this fella. It was just a hole of a place. And I'm training over there, and I'm living with an ex-girlfriend of mine at the time. And there's this fella coming in, opening the door when he feels like it, right? Coming in the gap and mixing stuff up in tinfoil and leaving again. Right? It's the truth, like, I'm not even like it. And I'm saying to the club, I goes, "I have to get out of the house. You understand what I'm saying there, what this person is doing here in the gap?" And he was like, "Yeah, but there's nowhere else for you to go." I'm like, "There's this fella," and I remember ringing him the late night, and he goes, "Why is your landlord coming in? Like, you know what he's leaving here? Like, it doesn't take rocket science to know what he's doing, and he's just using this house, like."
Is this for Port Vale? At Port Vale?
Port Vale, yeah.
Yeah.
And I just turned around. I've gone back to the club and gone, "I've had enough. I'm leaving." And like, they didn't give a shit, like, because I wasn't playing anyway. Like, no one. I remember he actually said to me at the time, he goes, "If you actually stay over Christmas, you can start playing." I've gone, "I'm not waiting another 3 weeks. You're having a laugh." I think I was only there 2 weeks. I'm gone, Nick. I'm gone. Oh no, it was probably 3 or 4 weeks. I goes, "I'm gone. It's not happening." And I went back, and you was like, "What did you come back for?" And I'm telling him, like, he doesn't know who I am. He's not going to play me. I'm doing myself more harm being there than not being there, because not being played in the squad in the League 2 team is a lot different than not being in the squad in the Championship team. And he's gone, "Yeah, but sure, you have to be in there and not play now, aren't you?" And I've gone, "Yeah, but..." He's gone, "Yeah, well," he goes, "like, if that's how you're going to be, then you might as well just fuck off." He goes, "You can go home for Christmas there." And I've just gone, right, and I went home for Christmas, and you know what, I was gone then, because I remember he left me train a few times when I came back. I remember missing an open goal in train, and my confidence had literally gone. I was like a shell. I was trying to get away from the ball. I'll be honest with you, I didn't want anything to do with it. I couldn't get away from the ball quick enough. And I remember the club saying, "You have 6 months left or whatever. Do you want they give you a lump sum or whatever, and you can leave." And I was just like, "Yeah, no problem." And I did, and I made, listening to the wrong advice, I was like, "I'll go home and come back over in the summer. I'll get myself back in shape and mind thinking, and I'll go back." And I came back, and I was a joke. I came back here to play for Cork City. I no more wanted to be here now. Didn't put any effort in. Didn't. I just, my head. And it wasn't intentional. It was just, I was so. It was like I was broken. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I just didn't. I couldn't, and that's why I have a lot of respect for people who come back and go back over. But I felt like I'd been through so much in just a couple of years that I just couldn't take the hammering anymore. And I didn't want to play. I think I was with Cork City for a few months. Didn't really play. I was injured, but was I injured? I just didn't really want to be there. Then the thing with Crawley happened, and I was like, right, this is my chance. And I literally, from not doing a thing, picked it up, went over on trial. I still had this kind of natural fitness, done running over there, fine, perfect. Then the thing fell through with Crawley, and that was me done. I had no more interest. That was me done. I think I went to Rovers over here, Shamrock Rovers, for a few months. Didn't want to be there. Like, it was literally just because Cork wanted to get me off their wages. I would have been one of the highest earners at the time over here. Went to Rovers, got there. I think I played a couple of games, and then Dundalk wanted me to go to them before. Like, Dundalk quite successful over here, and they wanted me to go there at the end of that year. But they were was really poor money. I said, no, I'm not going there. Not happening. Not playing for that. I didn't want to play anyway. And I remember I actually didn't play for must have been a year. I literally went from 2012 leaving Ipswich. By 2013, I had no club, not even in Ireland. Didn't want to do a thing. Like, I just complete depression. Just gambling everything and depression. Didn't want to leave a room. Didn't want to talk to anyone. Nothing. Like, it was just horrendous time. Like,
yeah, definitely. And like, you know, you were young still at that point. I think you're only like 23 or 24 or something like that. So you're
it would have been 2000. I would have been still 22.
Okay. Going
on 23 because I remember the year I left Ipswich, when Man City won the league, I was 2012. So it would have been that year. It would have been going on 23. So I was still 22, 4 months off 23 when I mind gone, my head had just gone, didn't deal with it at all, like, and that was it. Then I was just like, I did come back and play a couple of teams over here, but it was for the sake of playing, and I did enjoy it a little bit, but I never got back to a level. Like, I always think, even when I played the last couple of years, just for like teams like here, and I just think like people, you're playing well then. I'm thinking, no, I'm not, you're mad. Like, I remember when I had a few spells playing first team Mistress, that was me playing well, actually, with a bit of confidence. I never recovered that. I can honestly say Jewell literally, and I'm not really blaming him as such. I just think, because obviously you have a squad of 20 odd players, there's only so many people you invest in, the rest you don't want there. Is that every club that way? But he did drag me down for a reason I never really understood why. And then obviously that thing with the tweet happened, and it was like, I didn't mean it. And then he's coming back at me, and then it made me look like a twat. And I was like, I didn't mean for it to go. I'm not great in social media, especially Twitter. I think I've had about 20 tweets in my life, and that was one of my first ones. And I didn't mean to say what I said. And then obviously it took off a little bit from there. Then I had a bit of an argument with a couple people, but it was unintentional, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why then I think he always felt like he had the upper hand on me, because the club had said I couldn't say anything bad against the club when I left, and I didn't mean to, because I never had that bad thing against the club. The club I love, still like the club now. Never had that bad thing against the club. Loved me time there. It was just kind of me and him clash. But it was what it was. Like, he got his little dig back at me, and then that was it. Like, he had the last laugh. He got rid of me, to be honest. Like,
have you crossed his path ever since that day, or?
No, geez, like, you know what? I never even went back over to England, to be honest. Like, since I left, I mean, only to Crawley on trial and stuff. That was it. Never went back again. I went once to Notts County to Chris Bomley one time, actually begging him, and he just ignored me. He brought me over for training him one time and said I'd come back for pre-season, and he ignored me. And I was like, fuck. I was like, why don't people just tell you stuff up front? Like, and I love Chris. He got on great with him. Unless, you know, it's just crazy time. Like, it was what it was. Like, and in fairness, I hadn't known enough people to help me to try and even get trials or go in another direction, because Ben Thatcher would have been closest with. I stopped. He kind of fell out with me over the thing that happened. So if someone was going to help me, it would have been him, and he wasn't doing it. And then once you don't play for a certain amount of time, I sat there not playing for too long when the Jewell, like that year of not playing, and that's you done. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because I remember bumping into Chris. I remember when I actually went to Notts County, what he said to me, he goes, I remember being up in the stand, like, and when I was playing towards the end of my first season, he said, West Brom were there watching you. Like, they were coming the next season to watch you again. Like, they couldn't understand why you weren't playing. They were literally sending scouts. So I goes, how do you go from West Brom sending scouts to you to not being nowhere near any squad? Like, it's just, I still can't wrap my head around some aspects of it, you know. But I always think I was too quiet, especially under Roy's time. Like, I never questioned that. Like, he'd leave you out of the squad for 2 months, and I wouldn't even question why. Like, I've done enough in this previous. Like, you look at kids now, they burst on the scene and they keep playing them, and that's how they progress. You know, it's like with Connor as well. Like, Connor under Roy was like in and out, play 15 minutes, wouldn't play, in and out. Then Jewell gave him a run of games, and all of a sudden he started to shine. You know what I mean? And you know, I think if you give game time, you're going to play. And I just think that was. I think where I was let down small, but I think bringing in Sparky to play left back when his legs were gone in a game when I was one who would laud forward and get back to why you want Sparky there to just sit there. I just thought you took everything away from the team by doing that. And even Jamie Peters on the other side, he didn't play Jamie when Jamie would sprint up and back. And I just remember thinking, we were literally flying for you, and you just took us out for no reason, you know, without an explanation. And if you asked for an explanation, you just told where the door was.
You said that, you know, Jewell got the laugh. But I don't think he did in a sort of way in terms of his time at Town. He was pretty rubbish. Like as a fan, he made me quit my season ticket because I went, you know what?
Did he?
Yeah, because I couldn't watch his football.
You can understand why, because what I never got with him, right, and I never got with him, is that the lads would lose on a Saturday, right, which is grand. The lads would lose on Saturday, and he would abuse us on the Sunday. He would run us to the ground. I mean, now toughest sessions you would do would be with him on the Sunday. He would and he'd be taking out us. I'm thinking, we weren't there. If maybe you gave us a chance, we might do something better for you. And he, you know what I mean? I couldn't. And I remember then one time, there was another time, we had a day off. It was like a Wednesday, and I came in to train. Now this is, in fairness, he has an argument for maybe I should have stayed, but I came in and my head was gone, and I came into training, and it was only, no one told me we were off. They never told me. I was the only one who was told we weren't off. And I came in and I'm there like, why didn't anyone tell me we were off the next day? Like, do you know what I mean? And he gone, and I think one of his assistants, Sean something, his name, I can't remember the second name, he was there and he gone, oh, you can train with the academy lads there. I go, I'm not training with the academy lads. I go, everyone else is off, I'm going home. I went home, came in the next day, and he's fucking abused me. Like, you think, who the fuck do you think you are going home? I'm just like, everyone else was off. Every single, I mean, people who didn't play as well, they were all off. And I was the only one he didn't tell. And I hadn't done that to him. Do you know what I mean? And I just think the way he used to treat people was disgusting, like the way he talked to people, like. And I was never, although I wanted Town to do well, I was buzzing that he didn't really do well under him. And I was actually, because I didn't think he deserved it the way he treated some people like myself, Colin Healy. He just like gone, like as if you were dirt off the end of the shoe. And like, it was kind of our lives, do you know what I mean? Like, you could have just helped us along to find another team, or helped me along to find them. I was still young enough. It could have been like, you could have helped me or told me to do something else instead of just treating me like a piece of dirt, because that's what he was like. He was just literally like a piece of dirt. And when he called me into his office sometimes, he was just to abuse me and send me back out. It's just for no reason. And then obviously he doesn't understand, then that's you getting lower and lower and lower, and you don't even realise what you're doing. Because when I started even gambling, how I started gambling was because I started doing it at 3 o'clock on a Saturday, because I was used to being involved in squads on a Saturday, and I just went, oh look, I started doing this, and that was what I was. I kind of go, oh, every Saturday I'll do this and have a coupon, then, instead of actually being involved in the team. And that's how quick then it changes your mentality. Like, you know, you start to accept it instead of fighting it. And I was too quiet. I didn't put up a fight with him. And then I think the best way to describe him is that he's a bit of a bully, and that I didn't fight him on certain things. I think that he knew he could get the upper hand on me. Would I have been good enough overall? I don't know, because Crazy was a miles better player than me overall, but I felt I could have went on to another club and done well had he just given me the opportunity to train properly and give me the time of day, you know what I mean, instead of having to be the way he was with me and probably a few others. Like,
definitely. And you know, that's understandable to say. The sort of the gambling side is like, you know, you're used to playing, you know, every on a Saturday at 3 o'clock, and now you're not. You know, there's nothing really much to do. And
yeah,
I agree with what you say about when he came in, you were like one of the Roy Keane boys, and because you're upset about it, he probably went, he's not going to really like my management, so he's probably discarded you straight away, which I think is just unfair, really. That's what I feel like.
I remember being really nervous about meeting him, and I remember met him in the canteen. That's where I met him, and that was the first thing he said to me. I think it was with Luke Hyman at the time when he bumped into him. I think we were in the gym. We were coming from the gym or going to the gym or something at the time, and I remember that was the first thing he said to me. And I remember thinking of like I think I'm up against the wall here already, like, and he just, and but I always look back at it and thinking, like, it's because I had a bit of loyalty to Roy because of what he done for me. And had he been like that, I would have had the same to him, because that's just football. Now, he'd been in and out enough times to know that's how it works, surely, like, you know. And I just think he didn't take to me. And the thing was, I was never someone who was a troublemaker. I was probably too quiet, if anything. So for him to single me out to be like that, I just think it was, I just never understood why, you know. And it might have been just because of that fact, because I was a Roy fella, because like I was good. He left, you know, and obviously that's just the way it was. Like, but I would have still done the same for him if he'd given me a chance. And I felt he was at the Arse thing, and then all of a sudden he just left me out again and never. But then again, I never went in and asked why. He just left me out completely, never put me into the squad. Like, but at the time I would have been training okay, but he just didn't want it, like, you know. But then I think, like, he brings in, you have the young lads there, but like, you're bringing in Lee Bowyer, who is I love Lee, like top lad, but like wasn't going to change the world, wasn't going to change the way. Even Jimmy was only going to give you a few months. He wasn't going to change the aspects of your team. Kieran definitely wasn't going to change the aspects of the team. Like, you're bringing in people who are only going to get you by for a couple of months. Do you know what I mean? When you already had the likes of Chuck and Grant Ledbetter in there who were experienced enough to do the job, you were trying to bring these other lads in to do, like, you know.
That was the problem.
I never understood the route he was trying to take as a manager. Like, was he was trying to kind of get rid of all, like Luke. In fairness, the one thing I say about Luke Graham, in fairness to him, he was not having Luke one bit. And Luke, in fairness to him, changed his mind. And I remember thinking, how do I feel like Luke can change his mind? And Luke did end up getting in there. And in fairness, like, loads of respect for Luke for doing that. Like, because Luke was on the way out as well. Like, only for he managed to, I think maybe because there was a spot in that position in midfield that Luke might have got the nod because of that. But in fairness, Luke worked really hard to get that as well. Like, that
was a problem of like Jewell's teams. It was lone players and experienced players at the end of their careers, and you're just thinking, like, they're not here, they're not the long-term future, you know. Players like yourself and like Luke, you know, you're young, you're hungry, you want to be playing, and, you know, I think a lot of fans were frustrated with that, because like, okay, you know, Jimmy Bollard, he did really well in these 6-month loan spell. You just know he's at the end of his career, he's not going to give you that future, you know, what you need, you know, in 2 years' time. Like, he's not going to be here in 2 years' time, you know. Players like Luke Heim, who was there 2 years later when Paul's gone. So it's a weird time during his tenure, and
But he didn't care. I remember after one game, I think the lads came back and said they lost away to someone, and he came. They said in the dressing room, they heard him saying to Hutch's assistant, going like, "I'm not doing this anymore. I can't do this." And I remember I was still there at the time when I was thinking, "Oh, he's going to walk. Please walk." And he didn't. Like, he stayed on. But I was thinking, like, he never struck me as someone. He obviously cared, but he didn't strike me. He struck someone who it didn't bother him that much. You know, I think it more annoyed him the fact he was losing that was hurting his reputation instead of hurting the clubs. I think it was more about him than it was about the club as a whole. You know what I mean? And I think that's what, like, even training, like, he's bringing in lads who aren't really going to train every day, who aren't going to put their all into training. But yeah, he's giving me shit then because I'm not up to standard in training, because he's after stamping on my confidence and then sending me over with the kids. And then he might bring me over once a month, and then I'm not up to scratch because I'm only training the first 2 months a month instead of every day because he doesn't want me over there. You know what I mean? And I always thought that, I think that's why then you're so low on confidence. It's very hard to pick it back up. And then I don't know what his plan was. Obviously, these people are coming in. They're not coming in for a small amount of money. And he's paying them this for 6 to 7 months. And it had to have affected Mick McCarthy the next time. That the reason the budget went down and down and down, because these lads are getting like 10, 20 grand a week for six months to a year for just basically being a face there, you know? Yeah. I know they both done well. I mean, I know he scored some good goals, and so did Jimmy. But, like, was it worth it in the long run? Do you know what I mean?
No, I don't think so, because, for under Mick McCarthy, you know, he gets a lot of criticism, Mick, you know, at the end of his career or at the end of his management at Town. But, you know, the first few years, you know, keeping us up, you know, in the first place, and then bringing in a few, you know, players. Of course, once again, he had to bring in loans and freebies, but, you know, he still did a job, and, you know, he brought in some other players here and there that have done well. You know, he brought Darryl back, you know, permanently.
Yeah, like, I'll be honest, when I was there, my first year, when I came in that time, it felt like everything felt like it was a Premier League club going to be in the Premier League soon. You know what I mean? Yeah. It felt like there was a little bit of, like, the right people. I don't know, did Roy's kind of, I don't know what the word is, because I remember Lee Martin came to him. I remember Lee Martin, who was there. Yeah. He signed for us, and I remember him telling me a story that, like, Ferguson told him, "Do not go there." Basically, he said, like, you're ruined if you go there. And I remember, obviously, Lee about a year later going, like, obviously he was right, wasn't he? Because I should have listened to him. Because in fairness, like, Lee didn't get anything out of that time with Roy, because Roy just kept hammering him, and he ended up going on loan somewhere, didn't he? And I think that he took a bit out of him as well. But I remember, like, I think Roy's relationship with other managers didn't help him. I think he only had I think it was Harry Redknapp gave him lads from Spurs. I think he got a few lads from Sunderland, David and Darryl. I think was Steve Bruce up there. I think Steve Bruce was the one kind of helping him out as well. He only had a limited amount of managers that were literally dealing with him all the time. It was never a broad kind of circle, you know. And I wonder, was it because he had kind of friction with people, like, because the club was like, it was there. If we got promoted that time, I think, like, especially the second season when we were going well, I thought we could have pushed on a bit more. Obviously, we didn't start. Like, I remember the crowds, because I was obviously I only came the first year, and I remember the crowds for the first few games of his first proper season there. And I mean, we dropped in 30,000.
Yeah.
And I remember watching them dwindle down slowly down to the 20s, from 30 odd, like, because the crowds were there for the team. Like, it's just they didn't deliver, like.
Yeah, because he was such a big name, and like we thought, you know what, we'll just put that, when Jim Adulton got the boot, but Roy Keane, what a name. We thought, okay, here we go. We're gonna, we've got a new owner who's been in. I think Marcus Evans only been in charge of the club for like 2 years, so this could be the chance. And of course, he gave Keane, Roy Keane some money to spend, and he did that.
He didn't use it wise. And what I always say about Roy, which I can never understand, right? He made enemies out of his players, which I suppose you did with me, but like not other people. But Roy made enemy out of players that were pros, seasoned pros who've done it, who you could trust and rely on. You know what I mean? Like, Jewell making it out of me and a couple other people didn't bother me. He had people he was bringing in. But Roy's making enemies out of Pablo Cunago, David Wright, Owen Garvin. And you're thinking, like, Pablo Cunago is loved. He's a goal scorer. You literally, everything you want in a man. Like, and I love Pablo. Like, Pablo used to bring me into training when I lost my car that time. He'd drive me in, like, and the man was as calm. He just, like, not like butter wouldn't melt, like. And I just couldn't understand his problem with him. Ben Thatcher, like, massive problem with Ben. Now I know he was injured a bit, but he would have been more fitter if he would have got a game. And it was just a massive problem with Ben. I was thinking, the man has played in the Premier League practically his whole career. He's solid as a rock, tough as nails, like, and wouldn't play him. Like, these people there were points yet. Like, even Gareth to a certain extent. Gareth didn't get a lot of football. He was actually playing about 160 games by the time he was 19 or 20.
Yeah, it's mad.
You don't do that if you're a bad player. No. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that's probably the problem with Roy's time at the club. He made a lot of enemies very quickly. And then,
David Wright, I think retired at the end of the season. I know you loved Wright. I thought what a pro David Wright is. And he had a problem with David Wright. I'm thinking, how could anybody have a problem with David Wright?
Yeah.
How could anybody, like, and I just think they were people that I really liked. I was thinking, like, second hell, like, how these are people that I would, like, if I was picking a team, if I was the manager, I would have been playing them. Do you know, that kind of way? Yeah. I was thinking, like, maybe like Snatch might have been gone towards the second half of the season with his legs or whatever, but like, I would have had him in the squad, would have had him in and around the place, like, would have had him, like, he was just so good for the group. I wouldn't have got rid of him. I wouldn't have made him leave because everyone loved him. He was so good for the group, like, and you're getting rid of people who literally make other people happy, and you have to have a certain amount about yourself to go, look, I have to put my own pride aside there and leave the lads get on with it,
Have you?
I remember sitting on the breakfast table with Ben Thatcher, and it was the day where only the injured players were in, and it was only me and Snatch in at the time. Like, we're having breakfast, and I've come in, and me and Snatch are having breakfast, and Snatch gone, make us a cup of tea, son, will you? So I've gone over to make the tea, get us both a cup of tea, like, and Roy's come in. It's only me, Snatch, and Roy in the canteen, and he's gone, I hope you're not sitting with him, yeah? Gone, what you mean? Like, he's gone, I've told you about him, told you not to be talking to him, and I've gone, all right. So I've made the 2 cups of tea. I've brought back, I've snatched his cup of tea, and I've sat at the table right across from him, right? And Roy's gone over, I think one of the assistants come in as well, and he's sitting with them, and Stat just turned around and gone, what the fuck are you doing, Stan? Fucking something wrong with me or something. I'm going, shut up, would you? And I've gone, shut up talking. And eventually the boys have left, and they've not let me sit with you. He's gone, yeah, I know, yeah, but I fucking had to embarrass you, didn't I? And like, he didn't give a shit. He was such a nice fella, like, but like, he was only doing that to wind him up. He wasn't doing it to wind me up, But obviously, to put me in that awkward position to go back to the table and have to literally put my cup of tea, it's only me and him there as players, and I've had to go and put my cup on a different table, like, in madness, like.
Yeah. Have you spoken to Roy since No, I
have not. The last time I spoke to him was when. Do you know what now? The last time I spoke to him was when I was in his house, but I came across him once other. My friend would be a big fan of his. He's done a Q&A here with Nicky Butt in literally the year after he left.
Okay.
And I wasn't really playing with Cork at the time. I was injured or I wasn't playing. And he was walking off, and I think he spotted me, and I just said, all right, Gaffer. And the only words he said to me was, you can't that team, and just kept walking. Didn't stop, didn't do anything. That's all he said to me, and I was like, yeah, sums that up, yeah. No bother. No bother.
You've name checked a lot of players there. What are the key players that were, you really got along with? You said Ben Thatcher, of course, controversial sort of friendship with him, but any other players that you want to sort of?
Yeah, I suppose like the young lads would have been big, because I've been close with Ronan, so I've been close with the young lads when I was going there. But Jack Colback would have been one of my best friends. Went on holidays with him as well. Like, he would have been very close to mine. He's top lad, like, mad fella. I loved him. I actually lost contact with Jack, and believe it or not, I've only recently got back contact with him. Okay. I told him I won't be losing his number again. Yeah. Tell him I'm straight over to him when this lockdown is over. So he'd be a very good friend of mine. Like, a good time for Jack. He was one of them lads who came in on loan but felt like he was part of the group. Always gave his all. I was gutted when he went back to Sunderland, but I was delighted to see he's done so well. Like, and felt like he's got a bit of a rod the last couple of years. To be honest with you, he should be playing wherever he is.
A good player.
Yeah, he's a great player. Love playing with him. Just always one of the people, weight of the pass. Like, he just always gave it a right way to pass on the ball. Like, so many people put it behind you or too far in front. He just one of them things where people just didn't he get player of the year when he was?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did.
He was. Great lad. Like, great lad. Fucking great lad. Couldn't speak highly enough of him. I think he's one of the best players played with, just for sheer passing. Like, able to get a goal. He was engine like you wouldn't believe. Like, he kind of do everything for you. I think he was unlucky with just not getting the right breaks. Yeah. Now he got to Newcastle from Sunderland, and I think Benitez then might have killed him going there. I think Benitez had his own views and what, but I think he's on loan at Newcastle or Forest for the 2 years. But his contract's up this year, so somebody be lucky enough to get him next year, hopefully.
He'll be a very cheap player to bring in. He's not wages, but in terms of a free transfer, that's the championship club.
It's a no-brainer for me. Like, if I'm a championship manager, I think there's no way I'm not taking him. Yeah. Like, he's a good player. Like, he done very well at Forest last year.
Did.
I watched a lot of their games last year, and he was very good for them. Now, I might be a little biased because he'd be body like Paul. Like, I think he's an exceptional player. Like. Yeah.
Now, of course, now you're back in Ireland. You mentioned a few, the Irish clubs you played for, but you feel like football is now it's gone now for you. In terms of playing and stuff like that. You said you feel like you lost most of your ability because of
I suppose unfortunate in the ways where I went, because I always look back. I'm one of them people that I think I have a good memory, but I'm one of them people as well that finds it very hard to let things go. And I think the Ipswich thing really grates on me. Like, where I felt I should have done more. I always look back and I think, why didn't I do more? Why didn't I speak up more? But I suppose hindsight's one of them things that obviously it's for a reason that hindsight's a thing you can't go back in time, unfortunately. But I still always feel like I failed, and it always grates on me. And always people go, "You didn't," but I did, and it always grates on me. But I never recaptured the love for it once I left, and once the kind of Crawley thing fell through the second time, I just thought, that's me. I can't take any more of it. It was more knock 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 instead of being able to push on, and I always felt like if I got a better contract that time when I signed, because I did feel I deserved a better one than I got, because I was played more than people who were on a lot more money for me, and I wasn't looking for 10 grand a week. Don't be wrong, I wasn't looking for loads. I was just looking for a bit more than what he was offering me, and I just felt, if he had set me up, because if he had set me up a little bit more financially, I would have been able to stay and go and try the clubs, but because the money they had paid me was only 6 months of my wages anyway, I would have been only spending the money that I would have needed to live, where I didn't actually have money where I would have been able to go, oh well, look, I can go and try at this club, that club, while still being able to live. And I think that was my problem, that I had to try and go home to save money to then try and go back or do this or that, which it didn't work out in the end. It was the wrong plan altogether. But that's why when I came out, I never fell in love for it again. Never wanted to go back. Still miss it terribly. I miss training full time terribly. But I think the Irish football is not English football, and I think the thing is, it was never professional over here. Especially when I first came back, it was like chalk and cheese. You couldn't compare the two. I went from training in the morning to training at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock at night. It's a different, like, lads are working. You're still getting paid all right to be able to do your full time, but it's like lads are coming from work. It's different. Like, the pitches over here now is a lot better than it was 6 or 7 years ago. But I kind of gave up on it a few years ago. I was only playing part time for the last 2 years anyway. Just for the enjoyment of it instead of for the the actual competitiveness of wanting to do this or wanting to do that.
In between playing part-time football, what were you sort of doing work-wise then?
I actually got a job in the port bringing containers off ships. It was like driving machines, bringing it down. It was the closest thing to a football environment I got because the lads were unbelievable cracking there. Now, I'll be honest with you, we used to work Saturdays, but a lot of the time, the first time I was there, and I remember I think I cried about 4 times on a Saturday, 3 o'clock. I looked at my watch thinking, like, what am I after doing there? I honestly did. I think, fucking hell, like, how was I 3 o'clock kicking off? And I used to always think 3 o'clock kicking off Saturday, and here I am, like, on a 12-hour shift, or Saturday was like a 9-hour shift, or it was kind of shorter shift, but some shifts there were 20, 24 hours. Like, it was like horrendous weeks. It was 60, 70 hours a week. Honestly, it was a proper hard graft. The only downside was the hours, but the job was great. I actually enjoyed machine stuff. I enjoyed the lads. It was great banter. Like, it was the closest thing to kind of football environment I can get to, because that's what you miss. You see, it's the banter with lads and someone taking the piss out of you. Really, that's kind of what you miss.
Yeah, of course, you're still a young lad, in terms of, when you're at Ipswich and stuff like that, so the banter and everything like that, flying around and, stuff like that. What other, jobs have you had to do during your time? You did well at Waterford, I think it was. You won the league or Player of the Year there as well. But
yeah, I was lucky enough. The teams I think 3 or 4 years I played for the Kings back here, I got Player of the Year, that I was playing properly for them, which was, everyone says you're playing well, and I was like, I'm not really, like, it's just, I'm a shell of what I used to be, But I enjoyed it in the extent, especially kind of, the Waterford year we won the league was enjoyable. It was nice for them because they hadn't been up in a while. And I actually bumped into Darren Murphy, actually, because he came back training with them for a couple of times because he was home for the summer. So I bumped into him there. I was thinking, fucking hell, chocolate cheese, I'll go back over to Forest and I'm training here for your hometown club. It was great,
Yeah.
But he was a sound lad, like, I love Darren, he's a very good lad. But it was good to play back here for them clubs. Even Cove Ramblers, the team in Cork, it was nice to play for them because they're trying to get somewhere. It was nice to be able to involve, try and help younger lads play. But that was about it. And then young enough, I suppose. Yeah, but I suppose when you kind of get to where you were there, it's I think a lot of people can kind of let it go where I couldn't differentiate between the leagues, and I just felt I was always selling myself shorter by playing lesser levels and not being able to live up to what I could do because of my confidence. I never was able to get it back again, even small things, like never able to get it back, which I don't know say more about me or what. It was just something I couldn't do for some reason.
I'm sorry to bring up your age now. You're now 30. What are you? I've seen that you played for Ramblers last year. Are you sort of like not really wanting to play football anymore? Is it more now looking, future?
Yeah, it's kind of a bit of both because it's a lot of effort to play kind of for Cove or someone down here.
Yeah.
We're talking training 2-3 times a night, if 3 times a week if the game's on a Saturday, twice a week if it's on a Friday, and then you're kind of travelling around the country for kind of next to nothing really. Yeah. And you're at the minute now because I kind of work and I finish in the afternoon, and my partner is doing a job who works from 2 to 10, and we have 2 kids, so trying to get out of the house is near impossible Monday to Friday. So it's kind of one of them things where, look, you just have to nearly nip it in the bud, which I don't really want to do because it's one of them things people don't tell you. When you hit 30, like, I was grand all along, 20s miles left, I'm young. But actually, when you actually turn 30 and you say I'm 30, you kind of start to think, shit. And that's kind of how I felt in the last, because I was only 2 weeks ago, I turned 30 and I'm like, well, I kind of feel like I'm missing out a little bit now. I think I actually wouldn't mind playing for another couple of years at some level or just doing something. So I think it might be something I'll look at when it's out, because I kind of let myself get a bit unfit, so I won't really get myself real fit again. Trying to just think, look, I might just play for a couple of years, because it kind of hit me like a ton of bricks there, and I'm thinking, I'm not having that now, fuck that. So I might try and play for a couple more years now, see what I have left in me.
Well, thank you very much, Shane. I think I don't want to take too much of your time up.
I probably bored the ear off. I didn't think I'd take you for that long. I'm sorry about that.
No, it was really enjoyable. I'm sure town fans will be interested to hear what you've got to say, because of course as I said, there's a few town fans who still mention you in terms of that Leicester game and just you as a player as well, because it was just such a strange sort of thing when you left. It was sort of like, oh, he's gone, and like we never really.
Yeah, I was gutted to go. To be honest, I was gutted to go, but because I love the fans. They were always very good. Even people you meet in the street, they were always very nice. It was one of the places that was just people were just nice. Like other places in England, you wouldn't get that. Like I think it was because it was like a town. It was quite close knit. People were just very friendly and nice to you, and it was just kind of one of them places. Like anytime there was nothing to do with the fans and the club, it was always very amicable. People were nice. Even if you weren't doing well as a team, the fans were always very supportive and nice to you. And that always just stood out to me. I always felt like they were always very behind you.
Did you live in Ipswich, or did you live like in one of the?
No, I lived in Ipswich. I lived down on the marina there.
Oh yeah.
Right in close to Isaac's.
Yes.
Loved it. Balcony, the sun was blazing in on top of me. Absolutely. I think that's what I missed most about it was that apartment. It was what a place to live during the summer there. Wow, definitely. It was a lovely place.
She's definitely good. But do you speak? You've name checked a few players you still speak to now. Is there any more players you still sort of speak to during your days at town?
No, I don't, because when my head went south there when I left, I didn't really keep in contact with many people. Yeah. Friends with a few of them on Facebook. I wouldn't talk to a lot of them. I actually know Shane Supple a bit. He's friends with my partner's dad. I bumped into him a good few times. I spoke to Gareth a few times. Met up with Damo obviously a few weeks ago. I see Ronan. Now and then we've been on holiday, we go on nights out when we can, but obviously he still plays back here with Sligo, so his time is very limited compared to mine at the minute. And Jack, obviously I'll see Jack now as soon as this is over. See what he's at. He's been doing alright there for himself, so he give a cup to check for the food anyway, tell that much.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for your time, mate, and have a good one and keep safe.
From true crime to football, Brexit to folklore. For more great podcasts from Archon, head to audioboom.com/channel/Archon. Head to audioboom.com/channel/Archon.